Hello to all my friends from FCA Eurasia. It's great to see you again. My name is Roger Leip and I work with FCA here in Southern Illinois in the USA. I've been pleased to be a part of watching your development over time. FCA Eurasia is growing greatly, and now to see it growing even more in FCA Global North is just fantastic. Realization of a lot of vision for a lot of years. It's my privilege to talk with you a little bit today about some things related to one-on-one ministry. How do we put together things to be able to work one-on-one with people in sport? Number one thing I would say is to look for hunger. Who's hungry? Who are the ones who are asking you questions? The ones that are seeking out your time, the ones who want to spend time with you. Those are all indications of hunger. They want something from you. They want to learn. They want to grow. Look for hunger. That is the one irreplaceable thing out of this whole process. You can't provide hunger for them, but if they're hungry, we know what to give them. Secondly, think about what's to be the nature of the relationship. Are you a mentor and this person is to be your mentee? That sets the tone for how you would work together. Are you peers, where you're just sharing time together and it's mostly about fellowship? Are you more an instructor and that person is your student, where you're teaching them something in particular? That's another way to do relationship. A third one is you may be one who's making disciples and this person is the disciple you're leading. So determine the nature of your relationship and let that set the direction for some things. Next, it's wise to think about setting parameters. Think about what days of the week would you like to meet. Is there a particular day of the week that fits your schedules well, that lets you meet regularly? Try to determine that. Think about the duration. How many hours or how many minutes should we meet together in any given session? More often than not, for me, that's about 60 minutes. It works out really well, whether we're at a coffee shop or we're doing it by Zoom. Think about also the term. How many months or how many sessions will we plan to meet together? In a university place like where I am, often it is one semester, meaning half of the school year. And that works out well as a nice dividing place where we can say, let's go to here and then reassess, see where things are at that point. So think about the term. How many sessions, how many months are we going to meet together? Think also about the content. What is it we intend to do together? What are we going to talk about? Is it like core discipleship, where we're going to train these discipleship ideas with the person? Or is it something like a discovery Bible study, where we're going to choose a book of the Bible, both do the Bible study, but also train that person how to lead Bible study in the same process? Or is it more evangelism, where you're sharing the four with them? What is the content that you intend to deliver with this person across how many weeks, how many hours, or how many minutes per session, and then what dates fit? All setting parameters like that help you have a good chance to be successful with your meeting. Another thing in one-on-one meetings is, I would say, one, start well and finish well. When you set those kind of parameters of we're going to start this day and we're going to finish this day, it's really good to start well and know exactly where you're going and take off on a good way. But it's also important to finish well. Think about how you would celebrate at the end. Look back and say, look what we've accomplished, but kind of tying a ribbon on the end of the process and say, way to go, we finished that. And then you can think about, shall we go again? Shall we go another set of weeks? Shall we do something more? Right now, I'm in a discipleship relationship with a college basketball player, young man. He and I met the first time at a coffee shop and talked about, what is it you'd like to learn? How would you like to grow? How often would you like to meet? We talked about all those kind of things. How many minutes can you give me in that kind of time? And determined we would meet for at least this first semester and see where we go from there. And that's working out well. We met first time in person. Every time since then has been by Zoom. It's worked out fine, but it's a little different. I would tell you the things we talked about here would fit for in-person meetings as well as online meetings. It will work either way. One thing you should think about is, if you're meeting online, you're meeting by Zoom, you're meeting by some other online measure, you might expect it to be a little more brief in content, just because it's a little harder to interact. So expect the meetings to be shorter in duration. But then you can also be very direct and very clear, and you have fewer distractions than it would be if you're sitting in a coffee shop and your friends come by. Hey, how's it going? Let me introduce you to my friend. Back and forth. That stuff doesn't happen online nearly as much. So in one-on-one settings, let me summarize. Look for hunger. Watch for the people who really want to grow, that's indispensable. Secondly, think about the nature of a relationship. Are you peer-to-peer? Are you someone mentoring a mentee? Or are you someone who's a discipler making disciples, and that's the nature of your relationship? Think about that. Think about setting parameters for dates and duration and term of meeting together, and then the content. What exactly is it you want to do while you get together? And then lastly, start well and finish well. These are some keys to doing one-on-one relationships in a strong and healthy way. Thanks.